People are full of surprises, especially when you travel together. Thankfully, Vrbo is not. When you book a Vrbo, you get Vrbo Care and 24/7 live support, so your house doesn't surprise you like your friends might. If something's not as described or doesn't work, Vrbo's there. Real people, real support, anytime. Book today on the Vrbo app. If you know, you Vrbo. Terms apply. See vrbo.com/trust for details.
The right window treatments change everything. Your sleep, your privacy, the way every room looks and feels. At Blinds.com, we've spent 30 years making it surprisingly simple to get exactly what your home needs. We've covered over 25 million windows and have 50,000 five-star reviews to prove we deliver. Whether you DIY it or want a pro to handle everything from measure to install, we have you covered. Real design professionals, free samples, zero pressure. Right now, get up to 45% off site-wide, plus get a free professional measure at Blinds.com. Rules and restrictions apply.
Hey, what's up, fam? And welcome back again to the Charm School live kickback here on recapkickback.com. This is me, Chappell, the host of the Charm School recapkickback.com Recap Kickback Live. And with me, my co-host going through all of this shenanigans, talking about Charm School episode 8 for the very first time. It's Chantele Francis. Chantele, welcome back.
Dare I say the best episode of the season?
It is not close.
Say that? Dare? Oh my God. It's so good. It was the best episode of the season. It had everything that you want in an episode. And I think that they should actually use this formula in these dating shows. I want to spot the good guy, you know what I mean? Like, or something. Like, I think that I thought it was a great challenge. I thought it had the drama, it had fighting, it had name calling, it had everything. And I loved it.
I loved it too. I have so many questions for you, Chantele, regarding this episode. But first, I want to thank everybody who's here joining us to talk about Charm School once again. As you know, we are live here on YouTube and having a great time talking about this and getting Chantele's first reactions to these episodes, along with our live chat. Thank you to everybody who joins us weekly, who checks out the live chat when they have a chance. And if not, if you watch it after the fact, then thank you as well for joining us and supporting recapkickback.com because Chantele and I have been doing this podcast thing together for about a year now. And
we had our anniversary. It popped
we popped our balloon.
We popped your cherry, popped the balloon for the pop-up recap of like our first time together.
Yeah, and then so since Pop the Balloon, we did that entire series. We started on the Nothing But Netflix podcast, moved over to Recap Kickback, and then after we were done, we said, what are we going to do next? And we landed on Charm School. We landed on Flavor of Love. And while we were talking about Flavor of Love, the entire time we would go through the cast of people. We talk about it. We get these Chantele reactions, and they're incredible. But the whole time, as someone who's seen this show, I'm thinking about the things that are going to come, the things that Chantele has not yet seen. And one of the things that I was waiting on was this very episode titled Tore Up from the Floor Up, or Toe Up from the Floor Up, as I call it. And Chantele, I'm so happy that you enjoyed this episode, because if you didn't like this episode, you wouldn't like any of Charm School.
Wait, okay. What type of person could not have liked this episode? Like, what are you saying about me if I didn't like this episode? I'm actually asking.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly. Like, if you got to this episode and was like, it was fine, I'd have been like, oh, this is a mistake. You know?
Maybe we should stop this.
Maybe this is the last season. Yeah, this is, I feel like maybe we've lost track of the goal here because we get some of the most iconic moments in VH1 reality show history just from this one episode. We get the exit of one of the most infamous characters in reality TV to this point in history as well. And some, like you said, a lot of fights and harsh words and fun and drama and some blurring as well. We slut in different formations. What is slutacious, Chantele?
Slutacious is a great word.
It's so good. We have to bring. We have to bring back
Bootylicious is in the dictionary. Slutatious should be in the dictionary for sure.
It should have been in the dictionary. And so we have to talk about all of that and more. But Chantele, I mean, needless to say, you did enjoy this episode. But how did you feel about the exit of one of the most polarizing, I think, characters in the Flavor of Love universe in Pumpkin?
I don't love Pumpkin, but Pumpkin is a star. I can't like, God, Pumpkin. She's iconic. I don't like her, but she is iconic.
She really is. She really is. Pumpkin really missed out on a shot on like the challenge. You know, I really feel like if you could have got Pumpkin,
she could have been on like an OG challenger for sure.
Yeah, like right around. This would have been right around what Fresh Meat, I think, or so.
Yeah, Fresh Meat, maybe one. Yeah.
Yeah, bring her in. Yeah. Bring her in.
When was the Ruins? Not the Ruins. What's the one with the DM and CT got together? What was that one?
I think that's the second time the DM's on, because the first time is Fresh Meat and she's with Derek. You're quizzing me on the show I am not good at.
I think it's Ruins. Anyways,
no, it's before the Ruins. It's before the Ruins. Because by the Ruins, CT has already gotten expelled from the show completely.
Right. It's like my favorite show. I can't think right now. Mine's not working.
It's okay.
Anyway, though, it would be amazing though if she was on that show. Like, I like seeing her on the challenge. I can see her like either hooking up or fighting with CT, or like, you know, maybe Derek's the guy that she goes for. Like, who knows back then?
You know, that's actually a good question.
What's the big eyes guys, bug guys, bulgy guys? Brad, right?
Okay, Pumpkin and Brad. Okay, I see. The thing with Pumpkin is that I don't think it even matters. I think that the point of Pumpkin is that the duel. Okay, I think the whole idea of Pumpkin as a character is that it doesn't really matter. She's going to find a way to find conflict with somebody. She doesn't mince words at all. Like, Pumpkin is not some meek woman who's getting bullied, you know, or anything like that. Like, she is always going to probably throw the first punch in a lot of ways when it comes to some of the things that are being said. I don't think there's one confessional where she's watching what she says. She's always cutting. It doesn't matter if she's talking about her friend, her foe, her enemy, Monique, whoever the case may be. She's never going to just take things lying down. And I think that's what makes her an incredible character. And we see all of that on display and more in this episode, because her exit was wild.
Yeah, I think that she realized that even if their exit with New York, how she spat on her, like how that was a crazy controversy, which she does call out. But I think she realizes that, like, if she wants to be called back again, she has to leave with a bag. And so she wasn't going to go out all meekly and being like, "Thank you for the opportunity." Like, you could be like, "F this sucks. You're a terrible host." Like, oh my God. Like.
And the crazy thing is, I don't even think it's an act. I think this is just who she is. And it just happens to be that she's on reality TV. Like, she is a person who is going to be begging for the spotlight no matter how it looks. And so because of that, like, just her natural personality is always going to be, it'll never be a quiet exit. It'll always be, I have to get the last word. I have to say one more thing. I have to be meaner than the next person. And it's crazy to think about that, considering the first time we see her, she's like, "Oh my God, I'm a teacher. I hope nobody, you know, like people are saying things about me, and I'm a cheerleading coach." And what she is completely forgotten about those kids. It is the Pumpkin show 100% of the time now.
Now, didn't she say in this episode that she was 21, or did I mishear that?
I think you misheard that, because there ain't no way that lady's 21.
Well, because she said 20 something, and I was like, I didn't rewind it though, because I have tight on time.
Listen, if she said it, it was shenanigans. Because man,
lies.
She's
a liar.
Yeah, but we do have to get into the Pumpkin aftermath, or the lead up to the fall from grace for Pumpkin, because again, crazy episode, but it seemed like it was fitting for this particular character in reality TV history. So, let's get into it. We're still reeling from the aftermath of the elimination last week when when Boots, Larissa, goes home, and Buck Wild is like, "Look, it's a shame that Larissa screwed herself out of all this money, but I'm still here. And I think someone in the comments last week identified that Buck Wild, Becky played an amazing round of game, like of Charm School last week, right? Because she was on the ropes and she should have been going home, but that all the drama behind who wrote the note and who stole that's the wrong show. That's who stole the pictures and all this other stuff that really took the heat off of her, and she managed to stay to live another day.
Well, we weren't really happy with Becky last week.
No,
but I'm more happy with her this week a little bit. I like when she's just being normal.
Being Buck Wild?
No, not being Buck. I like her when she's like Becky normal. You know what I mean? It's not trying. Like she could have a little bit of her ebonics or whatever, or like her AAV a little bit. You know what I mean? If that's but she doesn't have to go all the way. But like when she's just being normal, I don't mind her. But I still, she left a bad taste in my mouth last week. And so I just don't want her to win at this point.
Ooh, okay.
What do you do?
Well, it's not that I don't want her to win, but like, I'm kind of agreeing with you in a sense that she was annoying, right? She went full like Becky the entire show. Not Buck Wild was nowhere to be found, but Becky was in the house. Rebecca Johnston had showed up, and I think that I like her as a character as well. But if I'm being critical, I will say like, yeah, she did what she needed to do to save herself last week, and it's a game for a bunch of money. I'll give her credit for that. That said, I too find it hard to root for her after that, right? Because it was so shameless, It like I just wanted her to stand up for a bunch of money. Maybe you don't stand up. Maybe you take your L when you can, and then you bounce back and you win the game. But she is in a better spot now that Larissa is gone for sure.
If she was saying maybe to the camera, like, okay, I'm going to see if my tears are going to make me allow me to get to talk to Monique to maybe save myself. If she was like saying that she's doing this on purpose, I could maybe get behind her a little bit more, but like playing the victim and using those tears and like it just the way that it was just could be dangerous into other circumstances. And I just didn't like seeing it in that way. So it wasn't gameplay. It was probably just like her default of like how she operates when she's in like a predicament. And it just was like, it showed bad character. So I liked her better this episode, but I still remember.
Yeah, we do not forget Rebecca Johnston. That's what we should really do. Becky in confessionals, when she's just talking and having a good time, that's Becky. When she does the voice and the ebonics, then that's Buck Wild. And then the third one is when Rebecca Johnston shows up. And Rebecca Johnston means business.
Yeah, she's calling the manager, like she's crying to the cop. Like, yeah.
Definitely. Okay, so yeah, more on that to come for sure. Going into this episode, we're already up to Commandment 9, and I did not even realize we'd moved through them so quickly. That means we're creeping up on the finale, Chantele. I think our next episode is the recap of the season.
Oh wow, we're at the recap of the recap already.
Yeah.
Oh my
Clip
God.
show coming soon.
That's what I'm saying. Like I was like, okay, I don't want this to end, but like, what's coming next? Like, like it's just like I'm torn right now. I'm torn.
Yeah,
because like I'm already starting to miss all these people, but like I might not be missing them because like I don't know who we're gonna be talking about next.
Right, and so now the commandment I think is unless thou can play the game, thou will be played. So they're going to bring in, Monique is going to bring in Tariq King Flex Nasheed, a writer of many books, including Play or Be Played, The Art of Macking, and The Mac Within. Becky says he looks like a pimp, and she likes pimps.
Who is this guy? I didn't look him up, obviously. But like he's handsome, of course. Does he have credentials? How was he selected for this role? Was he famous back then? I just don't remember him. Who is this guy?
Okay, so I know a Tariq Nasheed, but like I don't know. I find this hard to believe that this is the same Tariq Nasheed. So give me 2 seconds before I go into a rant about who I think this is and who it actually is. Let me see what his books are written. Oh my God, it is him. Okay. Wow.
Whoa. Live breaking news right now. Okay.
All right. So this just ended. We're getting first hand. I did not realize this was that Tariq Nasheed. He and I have actually had some Twitter beef before, Chantele. Yeah. Sadly, I'm no longer on Twitter thanks to the work of some well-placed links and a hacker that got into my account and DM'd a bunch of people that I was trying to get votes for a podcast competition and I was into crypto, and now that account is gone, and so it'd be very hard to find it. But
how did they get you though? I do want to know how they got you. What was the sneaky way that they got your passwords?
That's the thing. I'm not on Twitter enough to really know what happened.
Was that the only account that got hacked?
Yeah, it didn't get the Recap Kickback account, which is the one I use primarily. So I'm not even quite sure what happened. More than likely, I just clicked the link and wasn't paying attention or on accident or something like that and X'd out of it. And by that time, it was too late. But yeah, not quite sure what happened there. That account is gone. But if you want to keep up with me on social media, I've been saying this for the last year that we've been podcasting at Recap Kickback on all social media platforms. That way you'll be safe from all the hackers. But Chantele, Tariq Nasheed is known for his online for his controversial commentary on race. He is a proponent of foundational Black Americans, an ideology that he founded, which basically defines as any person classified as Black who can trace their bloodline and lineage back to American systems of slavery. And so to be designated a foundational Black American, at least one parent must come from a non-immigrant background in the United States. And he believes that foundational Black Americans must seek out reparations on their own, and that American-born descendants of the American slave trade have not adequately sought or out the resources for themselves. So in a sense, he basically says that if you are not a child of slavery, you are not Black. And for me, that is highly difficult for me to hear because, I think there's a lot more nuance to the conversation. I think a lot of people cannot track their lineage back to America, like slavery. I know I cannot track my lineage just because of slavery. It's really hard. It's not like there's some, record of my entire family getting sold. It's just like we just popped up in Mississippi after a certain point. So, for a while, I think the issue here is that he has decided that he is the arbiter of who is Black and who is not. And in this episode of Charm School, he has decided that he, I guess his original, kind of like claim to fame was that he wrote these books on the art of macking. Now, if you're watching this live on YouTube, you know that Chantele's Wi-Fi has just quit on her. And so right now I am going solo dolo until she comes back. This is the beauty of recording things live. But yeah, so I think the beef with me and Tariq Nasheed came from him just saying something wild one time and me responding. And then I didn't expect for him to respond. And you know me, I know I want the smoke. And so I think we went back and forth about some things. I definitely was not backing down and he was dead ass wrong. Had no clue. This is where he came from. BS Suno 919 says it's him. I mean, BC Suno 919 says it's him. I had no clue. No clue. Was shocked until when Chantele just said it. But anyway, until she comes back, let's address kind of like how we got to this point in Charm School and who the four people are left. Matt Scott says, let's reignite the feud. Matt Scott, you wish. Look, Chantele is back. Let's see.
It's Heather. Hey. I love what happened. It just kicked me off. And so if it might do it again, if my phone kicks me off, we'll see what happens. Sorry.
Well, not to deviate.
Like, is that something I'm not supposed to know? Is the world trying to keep something from me?
Oh, yeah, I guess so. I guess you'll have to listen to the podcast back to discuss the Tariq Nasheed and Chappell beef because I went into graphic detail. But that said, Chantele, he's here.
What?
He's a controversial figure because he's kind of decided that he gets to choose who's Black and who's not. And I really feel like, that's a very nuanced conversation that maybe he just can't decide that he is the expert of. And so, he and I've had some differences in opinions about certain things before. But he's also known for the documentary Hidden Colors, which is a film series about like conspiracy That's is about what critical reception about. Oh, yeah, obviously about the Black thing, right? About marginalized people of African descent and of America and XYZ. All to say, me and him, we definitely don't see eye to eye about things, right? And so to see him here, I didn't recognize that was the same Tariq Nasheed. I just knew they had the same name. But Chantele, you've never heard of this individual before.
I've not heard of this individual. So back then, though, so he wasn't having these discussions, I'm assuming, or was that like the beginning of him starting to do this type of work?
Yeah, so the art of macking, player be played, and the mac within, the art of gold digging, 10 rules men must know in order to deal with women. And
is he the original red pill guy?
It's red pill adjacent. It's not completely red pill because he does in fact like minorities. It's just a different way of him expressing it, but yeah, very close. And so that type of stuff happens before he goes into his Hidden Colors series, talking about some very intense views about his stance on race or whatever. But all that to say, here he is coming in to talk about what every female should know about men, dating, and relationships. And so
is he married?
Listen, I don't know this man's life. It looks like he is married, or at least was at some point. It says spouse Alexis Cobb. So yeah, 4 kids, married, all that good stuff. If you want more information about Tariq Nasheed, go to officialfba.com. This is not an endorsement. This is just information. So that said, Chantele, he is here because he needs to teach the women about the 4 types of men there are out in the world. And by helping them figure out who these men are, they can change the way they were viewed, because some of them have had interesting interactions with men in the past. What did you think about these 4 types of men?
I thought it was very interesting. Now, are these 4 types of men from any of his books? Like, has he already labeled them, or did they? Okay, so this is something that he is known for, like having these archetypes.
Known for is probably a reach a little bit. I would say that he's written a book and put these archetypes in at least one of his books. He's probably promoting them using Charm School to do that. But he's telling the women that if they need to find better men. Monique says, they were all on Flavor of Love, dating a man who was groping and rubbing all over them. And so, wouldn't hurt for them to find somebody who would make, who their connection would make them look a little bit more appealing to the rest of the world.
Did you know that Monique was such like a prude, or is it just like part of the role? Because I'm just like, you're such a prude. I don't know, like calling people sluts and how, oh my goodness, she like.
I think it's twofold. I think there is it is a sign of the times, because you could say wild stuff like that on TV and get away with it, including slut shaming people, because that's just not a thing we really do anymore. And if you do it, you look weird. But so I think it was a part of the time. And then I also think that Monique coming in as the head mistress of this school really kind of puts her on a different level mentally than the contestants, because she's coming in from a place of like a more authoritative position, so she can look down and say, here's what you're not supposed to do, and that automatically lifts her up but puts them down as her subordinates, and she can kind of like lord over them. So I think she's punching down a little bit. I think she has the opportunity to do that as the host, and so she is taking that opportunity, because yeah, she said some wild things in this episode. I can't wait to talk about it with you.
Exactly. So in terms of like these 4 are like archetypes of a man, or 5, however many they were, I thought it was interesting. I thought it's kind of obvious. Like, I mean, the percentages were wild. But I don't know if I even thought that like the Renaissance man or whatever, like the ideal man was like the proportions that I would think would be the best. Like, I think, which one did I think was the best? Maybe it was a professional. Who was the other more well-rounded one? Can you remind me of them?
So none of them were well-rounded except for the urban Renaissance man, who has all the traits, right? Like, so he is the ideal candidate here. But we have the player, who is 80% charisma, the pushover, who's 92% sensitivity, the parolee, who is 80% the bedroom, and the professional, who is 90% profit.
I think I like the player the best, to be honest.
This is my personality. Yeah, Chantele, I can't believe it. Oh my God, Chantele's going for the player. Who would have guessed?
Well, the other the guys suck, obviously. What's the proportion, the percentages of the Renaissance men? Does it say?
I don't think it said percentages. I think if anything, it's probably like some type of like, evenly spread, all across the way. But yeah, 92% emotional is specific.
Evenly spread is better, but like I like charisma. I like people that have like a personality. So sorry, the player would get me.
The urban Renaissance man is suave. He's stimulating, sexually present, like, emotionally intelligent, everything you want. But some of these women have dated people who are not so much like that. And we get several clips of Flavor Flav being everything but an urban Renaissance man.
Well, we knew that, right? We knew that.
Mm-hmm.
I like seeing the clips though, because it just was like reminds me of like where we came from.
Yeah, and that was very fun too, right? Because Pumpkin has dated a player in her fair share of losers, but she wants to come out of this lesson spotting the right guy. We see Pumpkin and her player, Flavor Flav. Then we see Becky, who's dated pushovers before, who likes dating pushovers. She thinks they're fun. And then we see her with her pushover, Flavor Flav. We also see the parolee, 80% bedroom, not sensitive at all. This is right up Shay's alley because the last parolee she dated, he did things well. And, we saw her with her parolee, Flavor Flav. And then the professional, all about business and lavish lifestyle, right up Layleen's alley, 90% profit, Flavor Flav to a T. He's all the things. Maybe he is an urban Renaissance man.
He's all the things, as a D. Is he no? He leans more those four than the urban Renaissance man, in my opinion. Just because he doesn't want to be like well-rounded. Like he wants to be the player. He wants to be, the guy that gets the girls and is using. He loves the sexual, relationships with people. So I don't think he's ever going to be the urban Renaissance man. I personally. Flav. Yeah,
I think Flav is probably somewhere between the parolee and the player.
That's more his here.
He's the payroll.
What would he need to do to become an urban Renaissance man?
I think it's that he's not exactly sensitive. I think he wants to be sensitive so bad, but I think that's probably what he's missing. Because profitability, he's fine, right? Like he's fine in that area. New York has no complaints about sex with Flavor Flav. We've heard the moans. And then charisma, the man oozes charisma. So the one piece of the puzzle that I think would probably be lacking is sensitivity.
Right. And like he's kind of his way or the highway. So like as soon as
far from a
New York was asserting any sort of dominance, he like completely retreated. And so, I definitely think the emotional capacity and like the relationship and sensitivity. I agree that's where he's definitely lacking. I would never call him to be like, a sensitive man that's going to be there for a good chat.
Right. Like, I'm sure some people found that with him, but it didn't last for New York at all. So Pumpkin says she thought there was only one type of man, the one with the dick. And so her question for Tariq is, do you have to sleep with every guy to find out if they're the Renaissance man? And Shay says, Brooke is a nasty little whore. That's what she is.
She's a nasty whore. Well, this episode, though, I really see that she's quite sexually forward. Like, was she I don't remember her being this overt in like her pursuit of the D.
I would have to disagree a little bit because I can't think of a ton of examples, but with Flavor of Love, we were getting so many big characters that there were moments where we weren't getting a lot of Pumpkin and Flav. We were getting Pumpkin and the other girls, but Pumpkin was, I think, that season the first person who climbed in Flav's bed. I think it was Pumpkin and Hoops together.
Okay,
you remember when New York was laying on the edge trying to get in?
And then there's sounds, yes, and like they're like nothing happened, and like
no, that was crazy talking about that was a different Karen. But there's that. We also saw Pumpkin and Hoops in the shower with Flavor Flav that time. Yeah, and that's when New York gave us the famous quote, Pumpkin, Hoops, they're both sluts.
I mean, was she right? Was Hoops more of a slut than like we were shown?
I think New York was going to call anybody who came within 5 miles of Flavor Flav a slut, and that's just how it was going to be.
Well, I mean, we're just using the word slut and how they're using it. I'm not trying to.
We're not judging. We are not judging these women.
I'm just using the words that they're using. So yeah, I just don't want anybody to think that like I'm actually using it in a negative way. But like, what would New York be saying if she saw the behavior of Pumpkin this episode?
Oh, she would be letting them have it. The one thing we're missing is like the New York commentary of this episode, because she would be like, I told you, these whores trying to steal my man. You know, like it would have been so good, but no, we don't get any New York in this episode.
I would love New York would have chosen out of all these men. Like, who do you think she would have been into?
She's coming after the professional. She's right there. She's probably kicked Laylene to the side and been like, girl, move out the way. New York loves to talk about how, you know, this is my room, this is my house, this is my home, you know, these are my things. Her and Hottie kind of have a lot of shared DNA in that sense. If Hottie was here, Hottie's finding the professional and then and then leaving charm school to go be happily married.
Yeah, okay. That would have been actually very interesting to see Lainey have a little bit of competition in the attention of the professional. That would have been fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He was also, I thought, the cutest too. So I'm surprised that more people weren't interested in chatting him up.
We'll get to that for sure, because I have some questions about some of these the people that we get. So Pumpkin says she thought there was one type of man. We went through that. They're gonna do their first ever charm school prom with eligible bachelors to come in and dance and socialize. The 4 Ps will be there, but there will also be like some extra guys in there as well. They're all gonna fit these 4 Ps archetype or whatever, but the girls have to decide which one of them is the urban Renaissance man. The person who finds the urban Renaissance man will be safe from elimination. Everybody else will have to be potentially eliminated this episode. And Pumpkin's already hyped because she says prom just reminds her of drinking and dancing, and those are 2 things that she loves to do.
I mean, is she wrong? I love drinking and dancing.
I like drinking and dancing too. Fun. I was not drinking at my prom because I was a wee lad who did not do those things at the time.
Oh,
it was against the law.
A good old, good old boy. Yeah, there's no way you did not have a secret flask or something at prom.
Mm-mm. I got in a fight at prom.
You did?
Sober.
Over a girl?
What?
I said over a girl? Like, why? What did you get in a fight?
I mean, yes and no. It was over a thing I did that offended her boyfriend, and then he wanted to, have words. Thing. Yeah. And I was like, fuck you and her.
Can you share what you did?
Okay. Here's a random story from my senior year in high school. There was this Hispanic girl, I guess she's a woman now, but she's a Hispanic girl in my class. And she thought it would be funny to we had these poster boards, like the big ones that you make, like, diagrams or something on, like you put them on the wall. And she had the poster board and it was like bendable, right? And she took it and she folded it up into like a cone shape. And then she put it on her head and was pretending to be a Klansman.
Oh.
Huh?
Oh.
Yeah. She thought it was funny. Okay. I did not think it was funny.
Where's the joke?
Exactly. She was just like, look at me, guys. And she was laughing, but she could not see. And so the kid next to me, I said, I probably said something mean, but I was just like, hey, look at her. He looks and he's like, stupid ass. And he takes the pin and he throws it at her and it hits her in the cone. We all laugh. I'm laughing and pointing. Take that off your head, dumbass, and going about my day. I don't think about this again. Don't talk to that girl. She don't talk to me. Don't know that girl from a can of paint. At prom, her boyfriend showed up. He was older than the rest of us because they were engaged when we were in high school. He was an adult and she was not. And he thought that he could come to me about who threw the pin and hit his girlfriend in the face when she was wearing the Klan mask. And he thought it was me. Now, it was not me. But what are you going to do if it was? And so that's how that happened.
Oh, and so did you actually go to fists, to blows?
Chantele, we can't be talking about this on the podcast. No, Chantele. I went to church and I prayed.
You went to the principal's office.
You
became Brandon Chappell.
I prayed like Safari, like, please, Lord, give me the strength not to slap this bitch, but anyway,
that's so loser. It's like, also, I hate loser behavior. You know that. That's like my favorite line is loser behavior pisses me off. And like the fact that she goes and tattles to her boyfriend, and her boyfriend older, but like dating someone super young, coming to go beat up on a high schooler is such loser behavior. Like all around losers.
Especially when the high schooler wanted. I don't know if they ever got married. I don't know that girl. It's a thing that happened in the class that I was in, and then I went on about my day. But as far as her boyfriend, he got to smoke that day and get to smoke any day.
I forgot that I took his picture. So I was in yesterday. I was in England, and I saw this, and I thought it was very interesting.
Francis Chappell and Sons. Oh, okay.
But it's a funeral home, so maybe we're gonna be very into bodies.
My people.
But it's me and you. We got a funeral home now.
We do. We got a thing. We got our first business, Francis Chappell and Sons, and then we have sons. That's perfect.
I thought it was cool. When I walked by, and I was like, "Oh, I gotta take a picture of this."
That's perfect. So anyway, away from my two tangents about, I guess, why am I always fighting with somebody? Well, this is two beefs that I've had in 3 minutes of this podcast. Okay. All right, back to what we were talking about. I might be the problem. I just always want to smoke. I'm ready. So anyway, Shay says that there's an opportunity for all of these women to pick the wrong guys because there are 5 ladies and 7 guys. So there's no guarantee that every guy is going to be tied to one woman, but that probably won't happen, right? Like there's no way they won't all pick the wrong guy. So Monique is going to provide the women with dresses. And very early on, we hear what kind of Tom Pumpkin's on. She says, I ain't wearing no panties to this.
So, like, was she really gonna, like, get down, like, at prom?
I think she says she was not against it. It just didn't come up.
Okay. I mean, do what you want to do. But it's definitely, she has to know that this is not going to be serving the task of the evening, Like... She wasn't planning on winning.
I don't even know really what she was going for here, but I'm happy to talk it out with you. Safari says the men should be very scared of them tonight because these women have been feral, and she can't even remember the characteristics of the guys either. She's like, okay, we're looking for charisma, we're looking for dick.
Safari.
She's good.
It was funny. I laughed when you said that.
So they bring in the gentleman, and Safari says she was bamboozled. All these men are ugly.
I think they were all ugly, but I think the professional was the best looking. Do you have the photos of these guys? Do you have them or no?
If only I have the dossier of these gentlemen. We actually got a message from Mr. Roybot on Blue Sky. And one of our favorite listeners here on Recap Kickback for sure, Mr. Roybot says, hey, on the link that we have for the episode, the links can be found in our show notes, that they do not actually have the descriptions of the people. It's like their faces pop up, but the descriptions do not pop up. And so Mr. Roybot went in and transcribed those for us. Now, Chantele, the link that you and I have, we had the descriptions and I used them. So
I love them. I paused to read them. That's like I think I need to learn this, or maybe we need to start our own school or something.
Yes. Yeah. Look, we can turn this into something. Also, I have to give a shout out to What Up Tim in the chat. He says, I ain't got no panties on the dance floor. Now, What Up Tim? Why do you know that song? Why do you know that song?
I'll let him. Was that Put Your Ass On? Is it that song?
No.
What song is that?
That's, first of all, it's been sampled a billion times. I think currently, Sexy Red has a sample of it as all. I think Young Dolph got a No Panties song as well. But I think he's talking about like the OG I Ain't Got No Panties on the dance floor. It might be a TikTok sound now. But yeah, maybe that's what it is. You never heard this song?
Well, I can't think of it.
It's Wax-A-Millions, No Panties on the Dance Floor, and it used to come on BET Uncut.
I used to watch BET all the time.
Did you watch BET Uncut?
I don't know if I've watched BET Uncut.
Then you didn't watch it all the time. And Chantele, what Tim says, he's a freaky frog. That's why.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So let's get into these P's. First, we have Joey the Player. He works as a DJ at a local strip club and considers himself a smooth talker who can work his magic with any woman. Now, Chantele, I DJ. I don't DJ at a strip club. And I consider myself an okay talker. But I don't think I fit the player archetype. What did you think about Joey?
He may be the player archetype, but I wouldn't be played by him personally.
Oh, okay. You don't go for DJs.
He looks a little, well, not necessarily DJs, but he looks slimy. You know what I mean? He looks like
he looks like a player.
Yeah, like he looks like like he's not going to be a good guy. He's not going to be somebody that like I trust and believe. Now I know some people that DJ at strip clubs and they're actually gay men. So like they do it at the like a regular strip club, and like the women will tip them for like playing the best songs, but like he has really good taste in music because like he has like fun songs or good songs, and like he gets tipped by the girls, and like the girls are not worried about him like coming on to them or anything like that. So I don't really know any straight men that DJ at strip clubs, but I don't know if I trust them. Okay,
let's look at our player number 2, Dewan. His nickname is Seduce.
I died. Seduce.
Yeah, Seduce. Seduce.
Good sleep is everything. That's why Ollie's Science Back Support is made with a blend of melatonin and L-theanine for both kiddos and grown-ups. So when your mind won't switch off, you've got something that can help. Your racing thoughts and restless nights won't stand a chance. Find Ollie Sleep Solutions for the whole family at ollie.com. That's OLLY.com.
Ready to soundtrack your summer? With Red Bull Summer All Day Play, you choose a playlist that fits your summer vibe the best. Are you a festival fanatic, a deep-end DJ, a road dog, or a trail mixer? Just add a song to your chosen playlist and put your summer on track. Red Bull Summer All Day Play. Red Bull gives you wings. Visit redbull.com/brightsummer to learn more. See you this summer.
This episode is brought to you by Prime. What if you had one more chance with the one that got away?
Sam, you came home.
Based on the best-selling novel from Carly Fortune. Every Year After follows childhood friends Sam and Percy as they reunite in the dreamy, nostalgic lakeside town of Barry's Bay.
Love can be hard to find. So if you're lucky enough to find that person, never let go.
A second chance at first love. Every Year After. Streaming June 10th, only on Prime.
Plan B is a backup birth control option that's there for you when things don't go according to plan. It specifically works after unprotected sex and before pregnancy occurs by temporarily delaying ovulation. Plan B is available nationwide at all major retailers and through delivery apps like DoorDash. No ID, prescription, or age requirement. It's the #1 OBGYN recommended brand of emergency contraception, and it won't impact your future fertility. That's freedom to be. Use as directed.
This episode is brought to you by Redfin. You're listening to a podcast, which means you're probably multitasking. Maybe even scrolling home listings on Redfin, saving homes without expecting to get them. But Redfin isn't just built for endless browsing. It's built to help you find and own a home. With agents who close twice as many deals, when you find the one, you've got a real shot at getting it. Get started at redfin.com. Own the dream.
Study and play come together on a Windows 11 PC. And for a limited time, college students get the best of both worlds. Get the Unreal College Deal. Everything you need to study and play with select Windows 11 PCs. Eligible students get a year of Microsoft 365 Premium and a year of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate with a custom color Xbox wireless controller. Learn more at windows.com/student offer. While supplies last. Ends June 30th. Terms at aka.ms/collegepc.
This episode is brought to you by State Farm. You know those friends who support your preference for podcasts over music on road trips? That's the energy State Farm brings to insurance. With over 19,000 local agents, they help you find the coverage that fits your needs. So you can spend less time worrying about insurance and more time enjoying the ride. Download the State Farm app or go online at statefarm.com. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
This episode is brought to you by Netflix. The Four Seasons is back for season 2, starring Tina Fey, Will Forte, Coleman Domingo, Marco Calvani, Carrie Kenny Silver, and Erica Henningsen. After a difficult year, your favorite group of friends continues their tradition of vacationing together, now with a baby in tow. From the Jersey Shore to upstate New York and Italy, their getaways are sure to take unexpected turns where comedy ensues. Watch The Four Seasons, now streaming only on Netflix.
Get business done with the new American Express Graphite Business Cash Unlimited card. With unlimited 2% cash back on all eligible purchases, unlimited 5% cash back on flights and prepaid hotels booked through American Express Travel Online, and a flexible spending capacity that can grow with your business, you'll have the confidence to keep building. Apply today and earn a welcome offer of $1,500 cash back after you spend $50,000 in qualifying purchases on your new card within the first 6 months of card membership. Terms apply. Learn more at go.amex/graphite.
Chronic migraine is 15 or more headache days a month, each lasting 4 hours or more.
Botox, onabotulinum toxin A, prevents headaches in adults with chronic migraine before they start. It's not for those with 14 or fewer headache days a month. It prevents on average 8 to 9 headache days a month versus 6 to 7 for placebo.
Prescription Botox is injected by your doctor. Effects of Botox may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away, as difficulty swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness can be signs of a life-threatening condition. Patients with these conditions before injection are at highest risk. Side effects may include allergic reactions, neck and injection site pain, fatigue, and headache. Allergic reactions can include rash, welts, asthma symptoms, and dizziness. Don't receive Botox if there's a skin infection. Tell your doctor your medical history, muscle or nerve conditions, including ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease, myasthenia gravis, or Lambert-Eaton syndrome, and medications, including botulinum toxins, as these may increase the risk of serious side effects.
Why wait? Ask your doctor, visit BotoxChronicMigraine.com, or call 1-800-44-BOTOX to learn more.
And Sadus, his name is, they call me Sadus, and he will stop at nothing to get a woman in bed. He sounds like a criminal.
Yeah, like I just kind of like stop at nothing. I'm like date rate jobs. I don't know. I like. Yeah, stop at nothing. I like that also gives me the ick, right? Like if somebody's like coming on too strong, like that gives me the ick. So maybe I don't like the player.
All right, let's look at the professional. His name is Owen. He has a large collection of Armani suits, and his last girlfriend broke up with him when he worked late on their anniversary.
I mean, I get the work late, but like I remember I'm not that sentimental, so I don't.
You're like,
know
what's an anniversary when a man has Armani suits?
Well, like I don't know. Let's just do something on another night, right? I don't know. I don't know if that would be why I'd break up with him, but maybe if it was a regular occurrence that he was putting me second all the time, so maybe. But it doesn't bother me that much, someone working hard.
All right. Next up, Brandon is a pushover. His mother still makes him do the dishes and mow the lawn, and he spends a lot of time with his grandmother. Pushover?
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate any person that really loves their mom or their grandma and like is good to it's a good character trait to, you know, be kind to your maternal figures. But if it's like mama first, that might start to bother me eventually. So I don't really like a mama's boy that much.
Was it Sister Patterson who says Mama and Gaga and Baba are not gonna be living in this house? You know, to Heat.
Exactly. See, yeah, Heat was like, you know, you gotta put. I don't know. I wouldn't want to be competing with the mom.
Mm-hmm. Next up, we have Chantele. He says he supported his last girlfriend and he was eager to settle down and have a family. He's another pushover.
This guy doesn't seem like the pushover in the same way as the. Wait, is that the first pushover? Or that was Mama's Boy was a pushover too, right?
Mama's Boy was a pushover, and supported his last girlfriend is a pushover as well.
I don't mind this pushover. Like supporting his girlfriend. Like that's bad. That's bad. Eager to settle down. Like maybe if he's really young, like being eager to settle down is a little bit like, but I don't mind that pushover. He seemed okay. Maybe because I thought he was a little bit cute.
And next up, we have our parolee, Sun Ra, calls himself the foreplay specialist, and has never had sex with a woman more than twice.
I just can't get over his puka shells at the end of his
It's
braids.
his seashells. His name is AKA Seashell. It says it right here. It's part of his identity.
I like no. Those are like a hard no. Foreplay specialist, really? Like you can't be a foreplay specialist if you never have sex with the same woman more than twice, right? Like how do you know that you're good if you're not having it with more than one time? You know what I mean? So I don't believe him. I don't think he's probably good in bed. That's why he doesn't last with someone for longer. It's like fuck him and chuck him, because he's not able to have like meaningful sexual relationships.
And then we meet our urban renaissance man, Mark, award-winning field director who enjoys working with children, open to discussion and compromise in his relationships. This is the urban renaissance man. What did you think about Mark?
Well, his accolades are great, but like his personality was kind of like I don't find him to be super handsome. Like he's okay, but do we know what he has worked on? Like what are his award-winning films? Do we know?
Right. No, I don't know this man. I happen to know Tariq Nasheed randomly, but I did not know this man at all. I'm looking on a Reddit thread about it, and nobody is talking about what Mark has actually done. So I don't know. I'll have to do some digging on that one, but he is probably, like you said, one of the smaller personalities of the group, but it also could be something to say about maybe they just didn't gravitate to him as much because they are gravitating toward, that, and they probably are gravitating toward people who they should not be gravitating toward as well, right? Like if
I was them in this situation, I would be like, oh, I probably am picking the wrong guy. Like the guy that's not talking to anybody. Like they definitely make a point of noticing that nobody's speaking to him. I'd be like, oh, you know what? None of us are speaking to that guy. He must be the urban renaissance guy because like we're all toxic.
We're all toxic. Exactly. We did not flock to him. Thus, he must be the answer.
Exactly. So I was surprised that I believe it was Shay that was questioning whether or not, like, what if we don't get like figure it out? I thought that she might have figured out like, hey, like, oh, we don't have really good judgment and good taste. Let's maybe it must be that guy, and just like maybe just throw her hat on Mark just to see whether or not like she could win by default. But nobody did. I was surprised.
Yeah. So Monique and the crew, the judges, they're going to watch the girls work from backstage. I love when they do this, when they get to watch the hidden camera footage of them in the challenges. Laylene says she started stripping when she was 17 and she knows how to read people. And so she immediately hones in on the professional and she is loving everything about him. She's like, he's attractive. She loves that they both love to go shopping and she thinks he is the urban renaissance man. This man was placed here specifically for Laylene. This is a Laylene type. It is that this woman she's a single mother of 3 and she's been stripping since she was 17. So she about her money. She likes male attention because she, as a stripper, you have to get that, but she usually to get money and to, help fund her lifestyle. So when this man is talking about how I can fund your lifestyle and I'm attracted to you, she's like, this is the type of vibe that I go for. And so it's no surprise to anybody that Laylene basically spends the entire night with him. Nobody else really even gets a chance to talk to Owen.
And it's we know that Laylene is not the brightest star in the sky. Not at all. But I would have hoped that she would have been like, oh, like he's saying everything that I want him to say. It doesn't follow though the pillars of like who I'm supposed to be looking for here in this situation. But yeah, she didn't really come to that conclusion. She just got smitten by the professional. Now, do we know if they maybe dated out of the show?
I don't know anything about these people. Yeah, I don't know anything about these men after the show. I got nothing on you on that one. Yeah,
I know. The only reason why I say that is because like they did seem to click, right?
Yeah, I mean, but then again, that's his whole MO, right? Is that he's going to be able to click with the Laylene type because he's telling her everything that she wants to hear. But the thing that he's not doing is like valuing her intelligence or anything about her personality. He's just kind of like, look at all the cool things we can do together because I make so much money. There's a BoJack Horseman quote. When you look at someone through rose-colored glasses, Chantele, all the red flags look like flags. And you just kind of miss that they're red. And I think for Laylene, the moment he says like, I'm a professional who wears, nice suits and I have nice things.
Oh my God, I saw your navy pinstripe suit and I was like, oh my goodness.
So now she's got the rose-colored glasses on. She's like, I think I found a good guy. It's like, ma'am, not only are you wrong, but you can't see the forest for the trees. She's too far in it.
Yeah, she's too far in it. But she's cute though, but yeah, not bright.
So the parolee is spiking the punch. Did you catch him with the flask?
Okay, I thought that, and I was like, wait, did that really? That's actually not good. So, like, maybe they asked him to do that, whatever. But like, I was like,
they probably told him. They probably told him to get loose a little bit, because they want the women to identify these behaviors, right? They don't want any of them hiding who they are. They want them to be as overt about what they came to do as possible. And so maybe that's supposed to be like a big flashing red light to be like, hey, stay away from this guy. But there was already alcohol in the punch to begin with. These people came to get drunk. And the person who is taking this the most seriously, I think I'd say two people are. Becky says she's going to talk to every single dude there because she wants to be able to vet them. And I think that's the goal here. She's approaching this the right way. You cannot determine who these people are if you don't talk to them. Laylene has already chosen one person to talk to, so she'll never know how these other people are acting. But Becky, she's going to try a little bit of each of them.
Becky had the right strategy. That's what you have to do to be able to deduce who is what. Like if you don't have discernment, like none of these women seem to have, talk to everyone and then make an educated decision. Did anybody Becky talked to Mark for a second? That's it?
they all talk. I think Becky talked to every guy. Right. Now if he wasn't able to keep her attention, then I think that's probably the bigger issue. Pumpkin also really wants to talk to every guy, at least a little bit. But when Pumpkin does it, it looks a little different. There's this clip, and they used to play this clip all the time on VH1 when they advertised Charm School. It would be Pumpkin yelling, "This would be so much more fun if we were naked." Because she yelled that on the dance floor while dancing with this man. I think she was dancing with the pushover at the time. And she's like, yes, but if we were naked, it'd be better. Monique says, the party has just started. It just started. And Brooke is already being slutatious.
Slutatious. I do think we need to start our own Charm School swag. I want a shirt that says slutatious, like like a dictionary definition that just says slutatious and like has a response. Like there's just, I want to have like all like the commandments on a shirt. Like I think there's a lot of things that need to be put on a shirt. We should start a drop shipping company, and I'm not actually joking.
Slutatious in the definition being the whore of Charm School is a crazy shirt that honestly I might wear that shirt. I might wear a shirt that says slutatious, aka the whore of Charm School. Slutatious should be a nickname on Flavor of Love.
Yeah, I mean, that's like, it would be an amazing name. So you like Brooke, instead of being, why would she call Pumpkin anyways?
I believe it was either her breast or her butt. One of the two was Pumpkin.
Oh.
I think it was her ass. I think he had grabbed it, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, okay. Slutatious would have been a great name for Brooke.
I just feel like I could just imagine Flav being like, Slutatious, come get your clock.
Slutatious, get over here.
Yeah, Slutatious, get over here. You still got love for Flav,
I do.
Slutatious, your time is up. So we're gonna put a pin in Slutatious. We might need to come back to that one. So Slutatious, I'm sorry, Brooke finds herself with the massage therapist. our player, Dewan, aka Seduce, and he's telling her about all the body parts that he massages. And she says, what about the vagina area?
Slutatious, like what's going on? Like you leave a little mystery here. She was going all out, like when she may be tired of being on the show and just be like, okay, I gotta get myself kicked off here because she was not doing the challenge. It's because she had a little bit of punch.
I think she had a lot of punch. I think she had a lot of bit of punch. Because we also get the sound bite from her that says, so do you like to fuck?
Yeah, and then she also, you see her like open mouth at like the ice sculpture luge or whatever it was, taking shots, but like in a way that kind of could also look like giving a blowjob.
She was doing a lot. Okay, that man, when she says, do you like to fuck? He says, come with me. And the next thing you know, they're in the kitchen and she's like straddling him.
And like, we know she has no panties on.
And we know she has no panties on, and they making out. And she's like, I thought he was the player, but I didn't care.
I mean, she didn't care. What would have been great if Brooke did is like, okay, she did all this, whatever, but she still was able to identify the urban Renaissance man. Like that would have been epic.
Chantele, if Pumpkin did all of this and still won the challenge, Monique would have flipped the table. It would have been so good if she just like, yeah, well, the only person I didn't try to have sex with is you. So maybe it's you.
Exactly. You're not my type at all, so you must be the urban Renaissance man.
Becky finds herself on the floor dancing. The parolee, however, is working on Shay. And she says, this guy with seashells on his braids thought he was spitting the mad game, but he's not her type. His laugh is whack, and then she says he's kind of cute, but that's not what she's after. I was going to say, Shay was about to tell a bold-faced lie, because she said that man ain't her type, and I was like, yes, it is.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I think the shells are throwing a lot of people off, right? But puka shells were in at that time, right? Everybody had the puka shell necklaces.
Not in your hair, thou Not in your hair, though. That was not a thing.
But he wants to be unique. And like spelling unique like Y-U-N-I.
Like, oh, that's another Flavor Flav name. Unique. Come get your clock. Okay. We get back to Laylene. She's met the man of her dreams. We can yada yada that. She's not leaving the professional. But Becky says the guy looks like a serial killer. Then we see Pumpkin with the urban Renaissance man. And she says, so do you like to fuck or make love?
He took a long time to answer that question, though.
Because I think he thought, why is that what you're asking me? First of all, I don't think he came here to talk about how he plans on having sex. Like I think
if he said make love, like he would have like leaned pretty well into the urban Renaissance man.
Yeah, I think he just wasn't even actually trying to, like, I think he was like legitimately confused as to why she was asking him that. You're like, damn, you supposed to be getting to know me and like things that I like to do, blah, blah, blah. But you can't be an urban Renaissance man and like to fuck.
Okay, I see your point, but
the urban Renaissance man does not fuck Chantele. Okay, he makes music in the bed.
Right,
it's not the same. It's not the same. Yeah, like he was like, he was taken aback. I think at some point he honestly probably was a little offended. Like, damn, Pumpkin, chill.
I mean, come on, you're still an adult. It shouldn't. Anyways, I would have given a better answer. You got was like beating around the bush, and you could have just, no pun intended.
Yeah.
Then you're just gonna be like, well, like I like to get to know somebody better, blah 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 blah. And like
she was like, boo boo boo, tomato.
Yeah, tomato. Boring.
She literally said that. She says he's fucking boring as fuck. And then she's pulled aside by the parolee, and this is a match made in heaven. Because she says, don't get me wrong, I love to fuck, but I need to get to know you a little bit. He calls her a tease, and this is what really sets her off, because she says, oh no, I'm not a tease, baby. I love to please. I said, oh gosh, she's lost. Monique's backstage shaking her head like they know Pumpkin's gone. Brooke left the building. Pumpkin is here. Like
Slutacious is here.
Slutacious is here. That's the levels. Yeah, you got Brooke, Pumpkin.
Oh my God, everybody has like 3 levels now. So we got
Slutacious.
Becky's 3 levels. Now you got Brooke's 3 levels. I wonder if the other ladies' 3 levels are gonna come out, right?
Safari is just Safari. she never got a nickname. She never got a nickname. She only has 1 speed.
Yeah. Well, she has to have another one though, because she's like, well, maybe it'll come naturally. If
It'll come. It'll reveal itself.
Mhm.
So at one point, Paroli says, "Well, why don't I take you out to the jacuzzi?" And she says, "You want me to take you out there so you can lick it from behind, just like that?"
Lick it from behind. What does she mean by this?
I mean,
like actual lick, or like lick as in like beats, or like
Nah, I think she meant lick it from behind. I think she meant lick it from behind, just like that, as she said.
Okay, sorry, Slutacious.
Look, this Paroli is the king of foreplay,
Oh.
and yet Pumpkin's like, skip it.
Well, because Paroli's not actually the king of foreplay, just get to the business.
The foreplay specialist. I'm sorry, I don't want to misgender.
Oh my goodness. Yes.
So, my bad. All due respect, sir. He says he wants to pour Malibu alcohol into the ice sculpture at the very top, so that it could dribble down through the little chute, and she could drink it out. And while she's doing this, because of course she does, he's telling her, "Oh yeah, swallow it. Yeah, swallow that. Do it for me, Dad. Like that. Do it like Daddy wants you to." And she's just slurping it on up.
I mean, and it's Malibu. Ooh.
You doing all of this
for Malibu?
For Malibu?
Ooh.
It wasn't good when he poured it in there. It wasn't gonna be good when you got it. What we doing?
I mean, at least it'd be cold.
Pumpkin is drinking everything. Let's be very clear, okay? Because Monique says that dark liquor gonna magnify parts of you that you don't really
Okay, Malibu's not dark liquor.
That's why I said she was drinking other stuff. She was drinking other stuff too.
When you say dark, do you think it's like dark rum? Do you think it's cognac? Do you think it's some whiskey?
She was not
whiskey.
drinking.
Rye does make man crazy, right?
Okay, first of all, I've never met a glass of whiskey that I didn't like. Okay, me and whiskey get down, so I don't know what that means. Okay,
Well,
I don't know
tequila. Like if you
I don't.
do tequila, it's a better buzz. But anyway.
I used to drink tequila back in the day, but I've moved far away from that, and honestly, I don't miss it. But the whiskey, that's just it. A good dark liquor just does what I need it to do. And maybe it does magnify parts of me, but I'll take it. It's fine.
Were you drinking or not drinking any dark whiskey on that prom night?
I was sober at prom again, Chantele, which is what I said on camera legally. And I did not fight that man. So anyway, Brooke got down and dirty. So Becky says, if it looked like a hoe, it smelled like a hoe, it tastes like a hoe, then it's probably a hoe.
Pumpkin.
This is what she said. Brooke says she isn't opposed to hooking up at prom, and she is hoping that this man is hot because she doesn't even remember what the parolee looks like.
Me neither. I just remember the shells, right? Parolee
Just
shells.
remember the shells. Yeah, just remember the seashells.
Meanwhile, I mean, the Broly's cute, but he looks small.
He's a small man. Let me see.
He looks small, right? He looks like a 5'6".
Well, I think the issue that I'm having is that everybody's suit looks like it's 3 sizes too big. Don't get me wrong; it was the sign of the times for sure, because people used to wear the big suits. But because they're all swimming in the fabric, they all look small to me.
Right, but like height wise, he looks like
I don't think he's.
You know what I mean? Like he looks like he has like about this much from a door.
Right. I don't think he's that tall. But again, Pumpkin doesn't care. She doesn't even remember how he looks. So
everybody's the same size lying down.
That definitely sounds like a pumpkinism. It sounds like something she would. So the urban Renaissance man is sitting in the corner quietly by himself at this point because has been taken by these other people. Brooke is sandwiched between 2 men. Monique can't even understand how she's standing up, but she's like, she's not even on her own power. These men are holding her up at this point. She starts talking about titties.
Right?
Yeah. Look, she was having a good time. I'm not going to judge her for having a good time. What I will judge her for is losing sight of the competition here, because she definitely did. She starts talking about titties, and then she's like, well, look at Safari's big old titties. She said, I got little bitty titties. She's like, just completely drunk.
She's drunk. She's fun, to be honest. Like, I would probably be hanging out with Pumpkin over hanging out with the Renaissance band. Just saying.
Pumpkin was a good time.
Yeah, she's fun.
She's a good time. So the parolee says that women with the big titties have stretch marks. And he says this in reference to Safari, who, of course, takes offense to it. But she finally calls him out on being a jerk. He's kind of been being a jerk with everybody all night. But Safari is not the one to trifle with. He makes fun of her weave. And she says, hold on, seashells. Which ocean did you get them shells hanging from them tiny ass braids in your head? Safari clocked in, and nobody was prepared for this.
Her paint stuff's going to work. When she started with the shells, I just dying. I was like, get him, eat him up, go Safari. I want to let her loose.
The other women are trying to come to her aid, and she's like, no, I got this. No worries. And she just starts to go in. She's talking about how he's got a bald spot. She says he can make a lace front for him. They start going back and forth. She starts dragging his appearance.
A lace front is crazy because he reminds me of I can't remember what show I was watching. It was Love Island season 6, and Kendall, he got like after the show, I think it was, he got these braids, or like maybe he was even on the show, he got braids, whatever, and it looked like he just like stuck on like a braid wig, and so then we were like laughing about like when Shamar Moore had like that braid.
Yes, the Tyler Perry wig.
So bad. So like
no
lace front is like crazy. Hold on, I need to show something.
No, you know what I think about? You what's that season of America's Next Top Model where they brought the men on and then they did the makeover and they put that lace front beard on that one guy and it was just like why am I laughing at my own joke?
Oh my gosh. Anyways, I'm just like picturing that on that guy, like, or maybe even that was like a lace front. It's so funny. Sorry.
No, that was good segue. So okay, so Safari is ready, right? She's going back and forth with this man, and everybody starts dragging them apart from each other. He's yelling something at her like, "You booger eating snot drinker." And she's yelling stuff back. I think Safari's actually having a pretty good time. Like, despite that she's going back and forth with this dude, I think sparring with somebody, even if it's just saying mean things, I think that kind of gets Safari going.
Yeah, I mean, she was having fun with it, like having like a little like sparring banter back and forth.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of foreplay-y, and I wonder if it lasted longer, if they would end up like kind of being into each other.
She called that man ugly immediately, and she like off the back. She's like, "That is not it." I don't think Safari's got it for this man, but I do think she was enjoying herself. Monique, however, says, "I gotta shut this down because Safari will forget that she's in charm school and she will whoop that boy."
Sorry, I just need to see what
Kendall did that. Poor Kendall.
Well, I don't know if he did or not, but like it looked like it. Like they were just like the ugliest braids I've ever seen, and it just looks so bad. And like we were roasting those braids like the whole time.
He needed some seashells. So they end up having to put the boutonnieres on the guy they think is the urban Renaissance man. Laylene picked Owen, pretends to be shocked. He's a successful, goal-oriented man, but he uses his success to pick up women and downplay women's intelligence, and Laylene is shocked.
It wasn't him?
No, not him. Safari and Shay both picked Brandon. He's a professional dancer who lives with his mom and a pushover, we find out. Brooke and Becky picked Chantele, who is a college-educated and sensitive man, but he's also a pushover. Mark is the urban Renaissance man, and none of them picked him. None of them made the right decision, and for that, all of them are in risk of being expelled.
Well, with Mark, as much as like he was supposed to be well-rounded, and he didn't have the charisma part, like enough to be able to chat with these ladies, and so I don't know if he was the best example of the urban Renaissance man.
I think there's probably a level of he doesn't get much screen time because it's better for the story. He does have good charisma, but I think it's better if they're just like not showing them talk to him at all. But also they are drawn to people who are bigger personalities than him, right? That they're getting by like on these like clear red flags that they should be repelled by them, right? The moment Laylene realizes all this man is doing is talking about his money and his wealth, she should be running from that. Instead, she's like, "No, tell me more about how pretty I am and how you want to buy me clothes," you know? And so I think had she done that, she could have worked the room and been like, okay, the checklist. I think Becky was the one trying it the most of like, let me talk to everybody and see if I can pick up on any of the red flags. Sapphira gets distracted by our parolee, you know, not that she was attracted to him, but his energy drew her in where she's supposed to be like, you're bad for me. Let me get away from you and go talk to somebody else.
Let me not engage in this because you're definitely not the person I'm looking for.
Exactly. And I think a lot of them, I think maybe Shay and Becky picked up on Chantele as the pushover, but they picked up at him. I was like, oh, he seems to be easygoing. You know, he seems to be like, I'm not picking up on any overt red flags, but they're also missing out on like the driven part, the charisma part, you know, like, I think it was Brandon, who's a professional dancer, but he lives at home. And so they should be like asking him, okay, what are your plans for your career? You know, what do you plan on doing after this? But I don't know if they get into those questions. They definitely don't show us getting to those questions. And so Mark does come off the most boring of all those men.
Boring.
Okay. So Brooke was the MVP of the night. Like you and I, the next day, Sapphira is like, hey, you can hang with me. Like, you know, outside the show, we can kick it. Inside the show, maybe not, but outside the show, I definitely want to hang out with her the most. And Brooke says, well, the men were stupid and boring, and she wanted to get drunk so she could deal with them. And so that's what she did. Laylene says after last night, she is not putting up with anything anymore. She's officially learned her lesson. But Monique wrote them all a letter, and she says they have to help her figure out who is going to get eliminated because nobody won the challenge. So they have to do a superlative challenge. Who was the best and who was the worst? There will be a suggestion box, and the future is in each other's hands. So what the women have to do is suggest one person who is the worst and one person is the best. They do not have to be unanimous, but the person with the most votes for best will be safe, and the person with the most votes for worst will be up for elimination, definitely. So we get into some strategy here, Chantele.
I loved the little scratch chat, you know?
I knew you would love this, okay? So first, it starts off with Becky being like, all right, so why do you think you should win? And she starts with Pumpkin. Why do you think you were the best? And Pumpkin's like, well, I talked to everybody, and that was the challenge. And Sapphira says, you were over there being a hooker. Brooke is an embarrassment to herself, to Charm School, to her mama, and all the mamas of the world because she looks like a hoe. Now, that's a Sapphira quote, not a Chappell quote.
According to the show, I would have to agree, you know?
Yeah, it didn't look great. Sapphira says she did the best because she's here for anger management, and she did not get angry. And they're like, but you was fighting last night. She was like, yeah, but that was fun. Like, I wasn't, like, y'all saw me fight, but I was really having a good time.
Yeah, but she wasn't completing the challenge. So, like, you know, she got distracted from what she was supposed to be there for.
And Shay calls her out on it. Shay's like, nah, you did not do what was necessary to be done. And Sapphira's like, well, what about the picture? And she's like, yeah, you can say all you want about the picture thing, and that's fine.
Yeah, bringing that up is like, come on, Sapphira. It has nothing to do with it.
She was grasping at straws, and Shay's like, look, vote for me then if you want to, but make no mistake, you did not do the best. And so Laylene, they ask her if she did the best, and she's like, I don't think so. They're like, yeah, we don't either. She's like, I was enjoying the conversation. Yeah, she goes, I was enjoying the conversation, and it went great. So, I mean, who are me? We played rock, paper, scissors together. That's deep.
So deep. And talking about, what was the show they were talking about?
They were talking about, dude, where's my car?
Dude, like, okay, go Ashton Kutcher. Like,
yeah. You remember when I told you that, like, when I first watched Flavor of Love, I was
in love with her.
I was, yeah. Like, there were definitely moments where I fell out of love with Laylene. And her talking about, dude, where's my car? I was like, okay, I'm back. She's got me again.
Yeah, then she got you. She got you being relatable.
Off the record, yeah, I am a person who enjoys a good
stupid
movie. Yeah, exactly. You know, if you want to talk to me about stupid shit, I'm down. And so for her to be like, we played rock paper scissors, that's deep. I'm like, that is deep. We really did.
I would have fun doing that because like I usually know how to like win. I'm usually pretty good at so like it would be fun to play and just like keep winning.
Yeah, I don't care to win. I just like goofy shit. And so, like I said, personality wise, I'm like, okay, she's a stripper with 3 kids. I can make this work. I don't know.
She's really pretty and
she's very pretty. I don't know. So what happens next is the most fascinating part of this. They stop the deliberations and then they leave. And when they walk out, Safari immediately turns to Laylene and says, guess what? Brooke wants you out of the game. Laylene's like, what? She's like, yup. She says, I got to put something in Laylene's ear so she will vote against Brooke. Outside of the room, Brooke is already working on Shay. She says Becky and Safari are going to vote for their friends. Apparently, Laylene is closest to Brooke. So Pumpkin is like, look, I can get her to vote for, Shay instead of voting alongside Safari and Becky. So everybody is now lobbying for votes. And it looks like I will give Pumpkin like the strategic advantage here because she's really trying to throw the votes in different directions. She says Shay has to vote for her for the best one. And in turn, she's going to get her and Laylene to vote for Shay. This would give Shay 2 votes as the best. And it would give Pumpkin 1 vote as the best. Laylene would have no votes for the best, but also no votes as the worst, unless, she's not lying and that, they're not going to vote for Laylene as the best. So she's trying to pull off a 2-2-1 here.
Okay. Strategic queen.
Yeah. So in her world, Shay, Laylene, and Brooke all vote for Safari as the worst. That would give Safari 3 votes as the worst. Safari and Becky would vote for Brooke as the worst. That would give it 3-2. So Safari would definitely be on the block. Shay would vote for Brooke as the best. Brooke and Laylene would both vote as Shay for the best. Becky would vote for Safari. Safari would vote as Becky. And so that would be a 2-1-1. With Laylene as the swing vote here. So what we find is that both sides are looking at Laylene to vote with them. Brooke says she doesn't have a mind of her own, and this could be the first time Shay has been safe in a long time if Laylene goes their way. And this is tough for Laylene because she doesn't understand the strategy of this. She's completely lost. For a second, I thought she was playing dumb. But when Safari has it all written out on paper and she still can't comprehend what's going on, I said, oh, no, she's not playing dumb. She just literally does not know what they're talking about.
It's great. She's like, I need to just think for a second. Like, I'm like, oh, my God, this is like not just 5 of you. Like, it's not crazy. It's kind of like when on the Traders, when Sandra was like showing them like the voting on like with the cube, the pool balls, and like people are just like to understand the strategy of 7 people voting one way, and I'm like, guys, like we're counting to 7, we're counting to 5 here, like it's not crazy, but like she was definitely that math meme. This episode.
Yeah, and that's what I'm like, okay, well maybe this won't work between because one of us has to have a brain, and I just don't think if I'm looked at as the strategic mastermind of the couple, I think we might have something. We have bigger issues. So I was like, damn, Laylene, it sucks it's got to end like this. So Laylene is going between both sides, basically getting passed back and forth. And Pumpkin is telling her not to go off by herself. Layleen's like, I just need to go and sit with the numbers real quick. And Pumpkin's like, you don't have the numbers. You cannot do this on your own. You need to have votes on your side. Shay thinks they're targeting her as the worst. And now she's questioning her friendship with Becky because she knows that her and Becky come from the same season of TV. They were supposed to be friends, and so they were really hoping that she was really hoping that she would have her back, but clearly Becky does not So Laylene knows that she's the swing vote, and she's going to have to choose which side is the winner. Becky has 2 votes and is voted the best of the week. Safari and Brooke both have 2 votes as the worst, and Laylene broke the tie, voting Brooke as the worst of the challenge, and Brooke is heated.
She's not happy at all. Well, I mean, of course, because like, Safari got into Brooke's ear first, and so she lost the battle of getting Laylene's vote, unfortunately, and so that's probably why she's most pissed off, because she thought that she would be the one to manipulate Laylene, but like, it's kind of who gets to her first, and she wasn't quick enough. But yeah, I'd be pissed if like she was counting on Laylene's vote and going a different direction, and it actually went on her.
Right. So none of these women love Laylene. Let's start there. They already don't like her like that. Like they will tolerate her. I think we've heard like ups and downs from each of them. I think Safari's probably the highest on Laylene of all the people, but everybody else is just like, she's a whore, you know, whatever. I think maybe Becky might be number 2 as well. So as far as like who enjoys Laylene's company, but Pumpkin has never pretended. Like she's kind of like, yeah, I voted for you because nobody wanted you. You know, like that's kind of how she is. Like nobody wanted you, but you cute, so we'll make it work. That's kind of the energy that Pumpkin has had for her in the past, even though she's pretended to try to be her friend. And so I think Laylene honestly just sees through Pumpkin. She knows she's trying to manipulate her, and she's like, if I have to go with somebody, at least Safari is not trying to manipulate me. She's pretty straight up about what's going on here. And on top of that, I think Laylene also looks down on Pumpkin. She did not like the way Pumpkin was behaving. She don't think she took the challenge seriously by, you know, going out there and being slutatious all night. And so we really get a fight between Brooke and Laylene, because I think in a weird way, I kind of team Brooke on this one. And here's why. Brooke is like, how dare you slut shame me when you're a stripper? I thought it's a valid point. I think that neither one of you should be slut shaming each other.
Absolutely.
But for a woman who's been stripping since she was 17, you know, like you being now approved in this moment, being like, well, you shouldn't be conducting yourself. A lot of people would look at what you're doing and saying that you should not be conducting yourself. And so people in glass houses should not throw stones. Mm-hmm. And I think she was living in a glass house and in a way judging Pumpkin for what she did and being overly sexualized. And I just think, coming for Laylene, if I'm Pumpkin, I also probably wouldn't. Yeah,
exactly. She should not be coming for me because like we're one and the same. And her defense was like, oh, well, like I make money from it. You give it away for free. And I was like,
I mean, yes, but also,
no. What's your point? Right.
Like, so like, yeah. What is your, is
it better to get money for like, you know what I mean? For sexual, like, yeah. What are you saying here?
Exactly. And it's not working. So the thing is, Brooke is trying to slut shame Laylene, but it's not working. And so Brooke is getting more aggressively rude with the slut shaming, right? She's like charging her up and yelling at her. Laylene is standing on business because she's like, no, I just don't agree that that's how you're supposed to act in the challenge. To Pumpkin's point, Laylene, you also did not do the challenge correctly because you got wrapped up in the first man who told you that he had a lot of money.
Exactly.
And so
they both did the same thing, basically. It is in different degrees or different ways.
Yeah, different fonts. And so Sapphira says Brooke is yelling at Laylene, telling her she's a backstabbing, tramp-ass bitch stripper, every name in the book. What the fuck is wrong with you, nipple girl? Another Sapphira quote. And Brooke says, at the end of the day, you will always be a stripper. So at some point, Sapphira tells her everybody thought you were acting like a hoe. She says, are you okay with being sucked up by rich guys who just want to bang the fuck out of you and suck on your fake fucking titties?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, Pumpkin was going off. And so that takes us to the carpet. And we have, it's crazy. The carpet gets wild because Brooke wants Laylene to go. Laylene wants Brooke to go. Brooke's going to the carpet because we all know she was acting like a straight hizzo, says Safari. It ends up being Brooke, Laylene, and Safari called to the carpet. Keith is the one who will speak to this first. He says, Laylene forgot it was a competition, and so she reverted in the comp. Keith calls out Safari and says she knew not to get next to the parolee, but when it came time to interact, she didn't walk away. And Mickey says she got baited and fell for it, but she's safe. Safari's safe. Laylene is safe. This is all about Brooke. Keith says you can put as much lipstick on a pig as you want, but it's not going to make you a lady. Yeah. And
a little far.
She responds, "Are you calling me a pig?" Mickey says it was disgraceful and shameful on everyone involved in those moments. And Monique says she was shocked at the other girl's behavior, but when it comes to Pumpkin, it was borderline prostitution.
Yeah, I mean, I don't agree, obviously, but like those are harsh words, absolutely. And I was just like, I thought it was kind of taken a little bit too far. I know at the time that like these words weren't as heavy as it maybe would be they felt now, but I didn't like seeing it, even though yes, she was, acting the way she was, but how they called her out on it was like, I don't know, little nasty.
Yeah, the lesson was to find the right guy. But Pumpkin says Laylene didn't even get off one guy's nuts to meet anybody else. She'll be back on the pole soon enough. But it's, again, this is the Brooke show. So in the lesson, do you learn to suck on the ice sculpture? She's like, I wasn't sucking on the ice sculpture. She's like, in the lesson, did you learn to try to have sex with people immediately? Or were you supposed to be trying to find the people? It was her first time on the carpet, but she had to come to the carpet as the whore of Charm School.
Well, she went out with a bang. I don't think she physically banged anyone, but she went out with a bang. It was an epic exit. And I love that she was like, and I didn't spit on anybody this time. Like, as she's like going out the door. And she flashes her titties to the camera in her final confessional. So the last thing we get to see is Nipple Girl.
Yeah, Monique says she was being slutatious. She was the whore of Charm School. She was a slutatious whore. And it is slut shaming. It is mean. It is inappropriate. It is not something I condone. But Chantele, it was so funny. It was so funny. It was. Great. I don't care. It was funny. I laughed. I laughed. And so, yeah, there goes Pumpkin, the whore of Charm School. She tried to defend herself as best as she could. I really thought she was making a valid argument, right? Like, you slut shaming me is not the way this is supposed to go. If anything,
you're supposed to be my mentor, my teacher, and this is how you are coming down on me. Mm-hmm.
Right. And how am I a whore if I didn't do anything, right? Like she didn't sell sex at all. She offered, to do sexual things with people. She flirted, but she actually didn't even do anything. And so Monique will respond with, you exhibit whore-like behavior. The whore jumped out and then jumped in and then jumped back out again, and so that's it. That's the end of Pumpkin here on Charm School. And we are down to our final 4 as we approach the last 2 episodes of the season. We will have our recap of the recap episode next. Then we will have the finale and our reunion. And then we got some other ancillary Charm School viewings to watch, including the Charm School on the Tyra Banks show. We have to watch the preview of the season as well. And so we got a lot more Charm School content coming your way. But Chantele, what do you think about this final 4?
I love it. I think it's a pretty well-rounded final 4. Right now, I think Shay looks like she would be the best winner, but I could see even Becky maybe taking the win because she is playing the game. Safari's also pretty smart. And like, I don't think Laylene could win just because I don't find her to be smart at all. And so if she gets to the finals, like, I don't think that she'd be able to speak for herself or any of the attributes that you'd likely need to be able to sell yourself to win. So right now, that's my order, as I think who could win. It would be Shay, Bucky, or Buckwild, Safari, and then Laylene.
All right, and we will find that out in a couple episodes because the next episode is the recap of the recap, and so we will be back next week to talk about that. In the meantime, thank you so much to the chat for joining us, for being here, for dealing with our technical difficulties that we had this episode. I think we handled it perfectly. And so, Chantele, tell everybody where they can find you until we speak again.
Well, definitely hang out with me on my channel, Reality Realness with 3 S's here on YouTube, talking about Love Island UK. Trying to get, I'm watching, but I haven't got some videos out for Love Island USA. And so I have been talking about that season on Entertainment in Color, which is Mika's channel. And so you can find me talking a lot of Love Island all over the place, which is my summer, love.
All right. And as far as I'm concerned, this week, Interview with the Vampire is back. And so Mari and I will be talking about it, the Vampire Lestat, every week, I guess, for the next 6-7 weeks, probably. It's probably 8 episodes or something like that. So tune in for this season of Interview with the Vampire. If you haven't watched the past seasons, then go check them out as well, and check out our reviews, as Mari is a vampire expert and will be happily taking us through that. Also, we have our House of the Dragon coverage. Mari and I covered last season, and we'll be happily covering this season as well. She's a House of the Dragon expert. She read all the books and all that kind of stuff, so she's ready to talk about that. That'll be starting in 2 weeks, and catch all of that and more here on recapkickback.com. Class is now over, but we will be back next week to talk about more Flavor of Love, Cinematic Universe, and more Charm School. Take care, everybody. Peace.
I've been trapped behind isolated like it's North Korea. Smaller city with some bigger dreams. The wall is cracked, I'm looking in between it. The world is yours, but man, I gotta see it. They say it's hard, but man, I gotta see it. The air I'm breathing can't feel my chest. Wait on life, I wanna hold my breath. I'ma get in my goddamn self.
Capture your favorite summer feeling with Pandora Jewelry. Discover a collection inspired by the sunshine, freedom, and moments that make the season unforgettable. From sun-kissed metals to personalized pieces, ready to be engraved with your summer mantra. Each design moves with you, from beach days to golden nights and every memory in between. Shop Pandora Jewelry's new summer collection, in-store or online at pandora.net, and let your summer unfold.
Spring just slid into your DMs. Grab that boho look for that rooftop dinner, those sandals that can keep up with you, and hang some string lights to give your patio a glow up. Spring's calling. Ross, work your magic.
This Father's Day, when you ship UPS Air at the UPS store, your items arrive on time or your money back, guaranteed at no extra cost. It's like the father of all shipping services. It shows up to the airport way too early, just to play it safe. It's overprotective about all the things that truly matter. And it's always prompt, especially to be with family. Make it your first choice to celebrate your dad. Ship UPS Air with our money-back guarantee, exclusively at the UPS Store U.S. retail locations. Visit the upsstore.com/air shipping for full details. Terms and conditions apply.
You can't reason with the sun. Trust us, we've tried. This summer, it's time to put that angry ball of fire on mute. Columbia's OmniShade technology is engineered to protect you from the sun's harsh rays that can burn and damage your skin. The sun is relentless, but so is our gear. Level up your summer at Columbia.com to spend more time outside and less time slathering on aloe lotion. You're welcome. Columbia, engineered for whatever.
There's a new way to Sweet Green. Meet Wraps. Handheld, hearty, and made for life on the move. With bold, chef-crafted flavors, fresh ingredients, and over 40 grams of protein, they're built to satisfy without slowing you down. Try Wraps today in the app or at order.sweetgreen.com. Available at all participating locations.